I remember I used to lie to my friends when they would ask me where my dad was. They would ask me, like, how come I never see your dad picking you up? Things like that. And I'd be like, well, he's working late or he's out of town. He's a truck driver. He's never around, kind of thing. Just to kind of cope with some of the stigma and some of the shame that I would kind of carry within me. As I got older, I started kind of acting out. And in retrospect, I feel and I see now that it's because he was absent in my life. When I got to middle school, it's when I really started getting really rebellious with authority figures. I knew right from wrong because my mom always instilled those core values in me that I carried with me to this day. In middle school, I started hanging out with other kids who had a similar experience and they were in a similar situation as I was. In retrospect, we kind of gravitated towards each other. We were all missing something. Either their mother, brother, someone was incarcerated. They were missing someone. They were absent in their picture. So we were all really hurting, but we didn't really talk about it. We didn't even know how to open up that discussion. We just kind of knew that we were missing something. Here you are together. These are your friends. Middle school and high school is where it gets a lot more difficult to lie about where your dad is, just because you're a little bit more older. You can ask questions. But we knew someone was absent in our life because they were never there. So I started hanging out with my friends. We weren't into bad stuff. We weren't stealing. We weren't doing drugs. But we were all really distracted looking for something. And we found a lot of that comfort in each other, all the friendship in each other. So as I went to the continuation school and I was removed from a traditional high school experience, everyone followed me, all of my friends, because they too were either distracted from school, the school gave up on them already, they moved them out. So little by little, they all followed me. A story comes to mind where I was walking late in an evening, coming back from a show, from a backyard show. We were really big into music, and we would always go to these backyard parties where bands would play, and just to kind of hang out with our friends. And I was walking back late at night, and we were cutting through a park in Almani. The park's called Lambert Park, and we're cutting across from it just at night. And I remember a bunch of police cars jumped the curve. They all kind of like encircled us. And they started asking us where we were going. They must have been looking for someone. They stopped us. They frisked us, and they put us on the sidewalk. We had done nothing wrong, but they put us on a sidewalk, and then they called my mom and my sister to come pick me up. That's when I realized that if I continue to go down this route, hanging out with people that might get me in trouble or might put me in the wrong place at the wrong time, something was gonna happen to me, and at that time, because I had this anger towards my dad, the one thing that kept popping in my mind was, I don't want to end up like my dad. I don't want to go to jail and end up like my dad. So when my mom and my sister picked me up and they took me home, it was silent in the car. We didn't talk about it. But I remember thinking, like, I really have to kind of do something differently in order for me to kind of get out of this situation, because I could tell that it's not leading in the right way. That's when I decided to join the military. Like recruiters, like what they do, they visit high schools. We had tons of recruiters come through our high school. I gravitated towards the Navy. I really liked their uniforms, and I liked the idea of being on a ship and traveling the world and getting to experience something more than what Southern California could offer me, which is why I joined the military. I joined the Navy at 17. I had to convince my mom to take me to the office and sign for me because I wasn't 18 yet. So she had to give me permission so that I could join the service. And that was the first time I was around other men and women who really were inspiring, who had graduate degrees, postgraduate degrees. And I was like, I want to be like them. I want to go to school. I want to be like them.